My name is Fatihah Ayinde. I am a public relations practitioner here in Nigeria, and I'm so honored to have been invited by DO to come speak at this conference celebrating 100 plus DO Take Action grassroots development champions. Speaking on the topic, an architecture for security and peaceful coexistence gladdens my heart because it is consistent with an SDG that I fully support, which is the SDG 16, peace, justice, and strong institutions. Also considering the fact that this video is mainly to inspire, and so it is going to be very interactive, and I will be moving away, from the academic meaning and make it very conversational. So starting with the basics, first things first, why is it important that we talk about an architecture for security and peaceful coexistence? I believe, considering the fact that, a number of African countries are going to be going to the polls, whether for their presidential or parliamentary election, I think it is important because it allows citizens to be able to identify a failed government and to be able to demand accountability, from their government. So I will be listing, 3 criteria that citizens can use, to identify a failed government or a gradually collapsing government. And first things first, the responsibility of a government is to protect lives and property. So when a government can no longer protect lives and property, then we can start to say there is, insecurity and there is absence of peaceful coexistence in such a state. We can also, use examples such as, the number of IDP camps we have, in Nigeria as data supporting, the fact that there is the absence of peaceful coexistence in a country like Nigeria. Another example or another criteria, or the second criteria, would be, if citizens can, practice civic participation in such a state. So, and that's why I believe what DO has been able to achieve in the number of years is very commendable in terms of, building a critical mass of 1 billion Africans who are able to demand accountability from the government and take action, as much as, ensuring social cohesion and peaceful coexistence. I believe it is very, very commendable. So in a state or a country where citizens cannot, protest or demonstrate, then we can say that such a state or such a country does not or is not supportive of peaceful coexistence. And the third criteria I will be speaking to is the absence of media censorship. We all know that when there is the absence or there is a presence of media censorship, that government or the system where there is the media censorship, it tends to be very oppressive. And in designing an architecture for security and peaceful coexistence, the government of that country need not be oppressive. According to a Freedom House report for 2022, considering the survey done on 54 African countries, only 15% were said to have been totally free, while 41% said to be partly free, and 44% are not free at all. While I think this is an encouraging data, hopefully Nigeria makes it, and most African countries, make it into the categories that are considered very, very free. And just to, talk more in terms of what exactly I believe is the root cause for insecurity and the absence of peaceful coexistence. I think it has to do mostly with the absence of consequences. It might seem very negligible, but I think the absence of consequences is the reason why, for example, we have what we know as weapon proliferation across all levels in Nigeria, for example, or say the attack on the Nigerian president convoy, or take, for example, the gross human, rights violation by non-state actors, perpetrating terrorist acts, such as the Boko Haram, or even by, state actors such as the Nigerian police. I think all of this just goes back to the fact that there is nobody who is getting fired or sacked when all of these acts are being perpetrated. I think absence of consequences is the root cause of what we have or what we are suffering in Nigeria in terms of insecurity and absence of peaceful coexistence. But in conclusion, what I believe is the most important solution to addressing this would be, the political will. I believe it's the political will. When there is the political will, then there's going to be an overhaul of the system that enables impunity to thrive. So much so that, it becomes inevitable that it trickles, top down from, the president down to the security agencies and then to citizens, so much so that we value lives and property. So that's where I'm just going to stop. Thank you very much.